So we are back at it, and now we're going to do word problems again, system word problems, but these are going to be what I refer to as total and specific. And so total and specific are kind of just like, so, a total and a specific one, and you'll kind of see what we're talking about. I'm on page 21 of our note packet. So it says, Lulu tells her little brother Jack that she's holding 20 coins, all of which are dimes and quarters. They have a value of $4.10. She says she will give him the coins if he can tell her how many of each she is holding. Solve this problem for Jack. Well, first of all, the two things that they have are dimes and quarters. So we're going to do D for dimes. I try to always pick a letter that represents what we're talking about, and then Q for quarters. Okay. Next, we're going to do, like I said, this is a total and a specific. So total, I'm just looking for a total amount. And it says she's holding 20 coins, which are dimes and quarters. So that's what I'm going to use for total. So that means I have dimes plus quarters, and altogether I have 20. So there's my total, just 20 plain dimes and quarters. Okay. Next, I'm going to look for specific. So it says they have a value of $4.10. So I'm going to use that plus what I know about coins in general. How much are dimes specifically? Well, dimes are 10 cents, so I have 0.10D plus how much are quarters specifically? 25 cents, so 0.25Q equals, and specifically I have $4.10. So that's the difference between the total and the specific. Now I need to isolate a variable here so I can do some substitution. So I'm going to rewrite this equation right here. I'm going to get D by itself, so that means I'm going to put Q on the other side. So that gives me D equals negative Q plus 20. So I'm going to take all of this and plug it in for D. Plug it in, plug it in. So 0.10 times the quantity of negative Q plus 20. And then I'm going to rewrite everything else plus 0.25Q plus 410. Or equals, sorry, equals 410. All right, so now I have a little bit of distributive property to take care of. So I'm going to do 0.10 times negative Q, so which would be negative 0.10Q. And then 0.10 times 20, which you can do on your calculator, but it's just moving the decimal one time, which would be 2. And then I'm going to copy everything else over, plus 0.25Q equals 410. Now I'm going to combine some like terms. So I'm going to put this Q and this Q together. So let me draw my line down the center so I kind of know I'm working on one side and the other. So negative 10 plus 25 would be 0.15Q. And then plus 2 equals 410. Now I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And so that gives me 0.15Q equals 210. Now I'm going to divide by 0.15 and divide by 0.15. And so then Q is equal to 210 divided by 0.15, which is 14. So that means they have 14 quarters. Now I'm going to take one of my equations. I'm going to choose this one. And D equals negative, and I'm going to plug in Q. So plug in right here. Negative or 14, but there's a negative sign on the outside, so negative 14, and then plus 20. So negative 14 plus 20 would be 6. So that means they have 14 quarters and 6 dimes. Okay, I'm going to set one up really quickly again on this total and specific, so you kind of have an idea. And I'm not going to take time to solve it though, okay? So it says tickets for a high school dance cost $1 each if purchased in advance of the dance, but $1.50 if bought at the door. If 100 tickets were sold and $120 was collected, how many tickets were sold in advance and how many were sold at the door? So we've got A for advance tickets, meaning sold prior to the dance. And then we have D for the door tickets. You can name the variables whatever you want. I'm choosing that. Next, I'm going to look for a total equation and a specific equation. So total, what do I have going on? I have advance tickets, and I have at the door tickets, and I have 100 tickets that were sold all together. Okay, so I have advance tickets, and I have door tickets, and they sold 100 altogether. Now, specific, we're going to get a little more specific to each one. So $1 for advance, $1.50 at the door, and $120 was collected altogether. So $1 for advance tickets, so 1 times advance, plus $1.50 at the door, 150D equals, and how much did they collect? They collected $120. So now you have your specific as well. So attaching the price to each of those things and then how much money they collected altogether. Now, I said I'm not going to solve this, but I do want to point something out. Notice this one has an A and an A and then a D and a D, but notice they're both ones. I could take and multiply this first equation by -1, okay, for all of these, and use elimination instead of substitution. So that would look like -1A minus 1D equals -100. And then I could copy this one over. So I've got 1A plus 150D equals 120. And now I can use some elimination. Those would disappear, and I could do the rest and plug it in. So just another option if it works out. Okay, so total and specific. Good luck.